Hello, my name is Alexis Romero, and I'm applying for the beta program. Now, in response to the first question, one challenge I had to face was that of a health issue, and during this time, I was experiencing rectal bleeding, bloody stool about 8 to 10 times a day, abdominal pain, and my energy was essentially depleted. I was iron deficient to the point of anemic levels. And on top of that, I had lost about 20 pounds within a matter of a week and a half. And that was just because my body was just not withholding anything I was consuming. So it's quite difficult. But on top of that, it was during my first semester of my freshman year of college. And it was right before and during my finals and final papers weeks. So I was not only dealing with the stress of the average student, but I was doing so with this health crisis. And I was frightened. Not only was I frightened, but so was my family. But, later on, I came to find out that I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. So that was why I was experiencing all these symptoms. But with some perseverance and determination, I was able to overcome or just really endure through those fears and anxieties. And I was able to pass every course and complete my assignments. And it took some planning, of course, a little more diligent planning, because I had to schedule in some nap times and really remain close to a restroom at all times. So it was challenging, and it definitely taught me that with perseverance and the right mental attitude, any situation that's thrown at us, whether it's a physical ailment or another circumstance, it's possible. It's possible to work through it and to do the best that we can. So, in regards to the second question, as to my interest in working with students from low-income urban communities, as I said in my application essay, I know what it's like to work and really go to school in a private school setting in which there's more individualized attention and also an array of counselors and advisors and teachers ensuring that you do well. But through my observations in an ESL school, I know that those are not resources afforded to every student. And so they influence and impact my students' lives in a major and positive and long-lasting way, really encouraging them and influencing them to enjoy learning and to seek multiple ways to solve issues and scholastically, of course, and essentially just never give up on their studies, even when it seems difficult. And in order to measure my students' success, I would definitely take the formative assessment approach, allowing my students to analyze their strengths and their own areas of growth, creating goals and grades based on whether or not a student has reached their scholastic goals. And I would constantly provide feedback because I know that's one of the few things that helped keep me afloat, which was the constant supervision essentially that I had and checkups I had from advisors. So, in reference to the final question, one quote that really impacted me from the Michelle Alexander passage was in paragraph 5, and it reads, "A black man was on his knees in the gutter, hands cuffed behind his back, as several police officers stood around him talking, joking, and ignoring his human existence." And the reason why I paused was one, because it gave me a different perspective on exactly how law enforcement tactics, the intent and the impact many police officers and arrests can have on an individual, how they're being put on display for crowds to see, and as it says here, thrown into a gutter or onto the floor, and essentially experiencing brutality that all contributes to their being stripped of their humanity. It really encapsulated Michelle Alexander's point that really this notion of the inferiority of Black individuals just being recycled and new forms simply emerging in order to continue enforcing this separation, this racial separation. And one question I will take with me based on this passage was, or is, how our education system contributes to this racial divide, and really how analyzing students based on grades strips them of their humanity and their potential. So partially why I thought of that question is because the education system has such a profound effect on an individual's developmental stages. And she herself actually speaks of the lack of quality education as a contributing factor to the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow. And since this is a video for a potential position within an educational program, I just put two and two together. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and I look forward to meeting all of you during the final interview. Okay? Bye-bye.